welcome back to another episode of the Nurses Breakroom with Lytle RN. And today we are going to start a series of something that I think is really important. And I know that a lot of us struggle with, especially when it comes to taking care of ourselves and uh, de-stressing. And that is the lies that we tell ourselves. And I know that I have found myself doing this first one pretty frequently, really. And it's when I have kind of looked into it a little bit more, I realize that there are ways around it. And so the first one that we're going to start out with is I'm too busy or I don't have time. And right now, I am planning on doing like I said, a series of these, and the next ones will be I'll do it later. I don't know where to start. I don't have the resources. It won't make a difference. Self-care is selfish. I need to take care of others first. So I'm not sure exactly what order those are going to go in yet, but also there is a new feature that I want to let you know about where you can um, in the episode, like right below where the episode starts or in the show notes, and it may be different for different podcast players, but there is a link that says uh, send a text. Send us a text message. And when you do that, it comes directly to me. And it's just a great way to be able to communicate and get your input and feedback. And I would love to hear from you. And especially, if you have any constructive criticism, that's awesome. And if you have any ideas, any maybe lies that you tell yourself or that you hear, other people talking about that you feel like, oh, maybe that's not quite right. So jumping in to, I don't have time. So for years, like when my kids were growing up, we didn't have a dishwasher. And so we washed everything by hand and we had 6 kids at home. And so that was a lot of dishes. And so the way that we usually did it is the boys rotated through and they were the dryers. Because really I didn't like drying and putting up, but I didn't mind washing. But the whole thing is, okay, I'm going to keep washing as long as I have room to put them. But if you're not drying and you're not putting them up, if you start slacking, then when the dish drainer gets full, I'm done. And so that kept them pretty motivated too. And so I used to hear people complain about unloading the dishwasher. And I thought, seriously? Like we're washing all these dishes by hand. How is unloading the dishwasher a big deal? Well, fast forward a few years and we had a dishwasher and it was wonderful. It was like, oh my gosh, we have this dishwasher. This makes everything so quick. And then I got used to having the dishwasher and I found myself saying, ugh, I don't want to unload the dishwasher. And it seemed like it was something that, I mean, obviously, like unloading the dishwasher isn't fun. I mean, maybe it is for some people and that's okay. But I would say to the average person, it's probably not a super fun activity. And I thought, I mean, I really dreaded doing that. And I thought this is ridiculous. I mean, I made fun of people that had those kind of thoughts about it. And so one day the dishwasher was like, I mean, it was full. And I mean, and we had a good sized dishwasher too. And so I thought, I'm going to set a timer and I'm going to see how long this really takes me. And it took 2 minutes. 2 minutes to unload the dishwasher and put things away. Now, I mean, I was working at a decent speed, but I wasn't rushing. It just took 2 minutes and that was it. And that helped to change my my thought process on this dishwasher issue. I mean, when it's something that like, needs to be done and it takes up just a mental bandwidth to kind of have this discussion with yourself. So nowadays, I have gotten into something else where I've started doing the same thing. And It is regarding taking a shower. Now, I bathe regularly, but we moved about a year ago, and the house that we have has hard water. Now, we have a water softener, but there's still, some rust in the water. And so, one of the things that I know is that, when you dry out the shower afterwards, after you're done taking it, then you don't have as much hard water and, just all those mineral deposits and all that. It just doesn't get gunky like it does otherwise. And so I know that. And we had just had the bathroom remodeled. So I knew that I wanted to keep it clean, but I also like, I hate doing that. And I mean, it's like it's this thing in my head where each time I shower, I'm like, okay, am I going to dry this? Now, like one time have I not dried it? And that was because I literally was running like super late. And so I didn't do it then. But the rest of the time, it gets in my head where I think, okay, am I going to do it this time? And so when I was on vacation, I was taking showers all the time because I didn't have to dry the shower out. And I thought, this feels kind of ridiculous. Like, why am I spending time questioning whether or not I'm going to do something that I know I'm going to do, but it just still gives me that kind of off feeling. And I feel like it takes all this time. So I came back and I thought, I'm going to, again, set a timer and see how long it takes me to dry out my shower. And this is, drying out the entire shower, like the things that are in it and the bottom of the tub and the whole thing. And then I do like every other day, I spray the shower curtain with like that daily shower cleaner stuff, just because I'm not drying the shower curtain. And it took a minute and a half to 2 minutes. I mean, it was kind of right in there. And again, I thought, okay, 2 minutes for the amount of time that um, I'm spending thinking about it. And that just seems like it's not serving me well. Now, one thing that I did do was to, um, I take out, so I'm kind of doing a modified curly girl method. And so I'm trying to figure out basically like what works best on my hair. I'm trying to not really blow dry or, like heat style right now. And some days I'm really glad about that. And other days it's a little frustrating, but that's okay because it is a process. And I found that I have a lot of different shampoos and conditioners, as I'm trying different ones. And so I just have them sitting in a basket outside my shower and I just pull out the one that I'm using that day so that I'm not drying off, 12 different kinds of shampoo and conditioner. And I'm the only one that uses my shower. My husband uses a different one just because that works well for us. But so all of this, may not seem like it's very stress relieving and self-care related, but in talking to people and in obviously in my own life as well, that is that's the thing about it is so many times it's these little things that can have an impact on us. It's these things that these little tapes that we have playing over and over in our head that take up time and energy. And it's not something that we really that's not where we want to put our time and energy. So, and maybe for you, it's something completely different, but I'm guessing that there is something that you have that you think, okay, I don't really have time for this right now. Or maybe, I don't have time for this ever. And again, to be completely transparent, like I knew that I was going to be coming down here to record this episode about not having enough time. And do you know what my head kept saying was, I don't have time to do that right now. Well, I'll do it in a little bit. I don't have time right now. Now, I keep all of my episodes short for a reason, because I don't have a ton of extra time. And I know that you don't have a ton of extra time to listen to things. So being able to recognize that and challenging that is powerful. So I encourage you to, think about, over the course of this day or over this next week, but really today, because honestly, you're probably not going to think that much about it later in the week. So when you listen to this, then just notice the times that you think, I don't have time for that right now. Or I'm too busy. And just pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I? Or if it's something that you do repeatedly that you feel like, maybe you have that little argument with yourself as well. And, maybe just break out a timer and see how long does this take? And is the amount of time that it takes is it better to just go ahead and get that out of the way instead of having this back and forth discussion with yourself all the time, like I have done? So I would love for you to, I'd love for you to send me a text and let me know what your thoughts are on this, what you have issues with in terms of this lie that we tell ourselves. And I look forward to uh, continuing this series because I think it's so important. There are just things that we tell ourselves that don't serve us well, and so let's kind of challenge those and turn them around. And I hope you have a wonderful week and we will chat soon. Disclaimer. Although I am a registered nurse, the medical and health information contained in this podcast is provided for general information and educational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional advice. Therefore, before taking any actions based upon such information, I encourage you to consult with appropriate professionals. I do not provide any specific medical or health advice, and the use of or reliance on any information contained in this podcast is solely at your own risk.